Happening now, protests and uproar in Venezuela tonight after authoritarian leader Nicolas Maduro was declared winner of the country's presidential election. Good evening, I'm Brennan Gurley. The vote was met with questions, including opposition, witnesses being denied access to the election headquarters as votes were counted. Our Jesus Martinez explains how this election is impacting East Texans.
Así es, mi gente, tengan fe, no pierdan la esperanza
Yvette Savarse.
de que Dios tiene el control de sus vidas.
You can hear her voice over the airwaves through an East Texas Christian radio station. She's a native Venezuelan whose voice couldn't be heard in Sunday's election.
It's because the relations between Venezuela and U.S. are broken. We don't have any embassy or consulate or the right to vote.
Savarse left Venezuela 17 years ago because of the political turmoil in the country. Former President Hugo Chavez was elected in 1998. He changed the constitution to where he could stay in power, and his predecessor, Nicolas Maduro, continuing that legacy as the once prosperous country suffers from poverty against a socialist regime.
And there's a lot of opposition to Maduro's rule.
Dr. John Barrett is a political science professor at Turner University. He says the opposition is led by Maria Machado. She was banned from running for president earlier this year. In her place, Edmundo Gonzalez.
There was an election, and there was a lot of hope that this might turn things around because Maduro was very unpopular.
La transmisión de los resultados.
Essentially, the Electoral Council, which is controlled by Maduro, announced, surprise, surprise, he had won.
Soy Nicolás Maduro Moro, presidente reelecto de la República Bolivariana.
And people were very skeptical.
Everybody was excited to see the country, to see towns, everyone voting and hoping that it was going to be a change.
Video shared to us from Savarse's family in Venezuela shows the moment where a polling site released the results late Sunday night. Despite numbers showing the opposition was ahead by 40 points in the polls, Maduro's government reclaimed power in the country.
A lot of people were sad.
On Maduro's watch, Venezuela's economy imploded. And though it has the world's largest oil reserves, nearly 70% of the people live in poverty.
Venezuela, because the economy is so bad, it's been driving a lot of people away.
Nearly 8 million Venezuelans have left the country since 2015. Last year, Border Patrol detained over 266,000 Venezuelan migrants at the border, a record for that nationality.
In East Texas, we have a large influx of Venezuelans. And so they have come and they started working. The ones that have temporary protective status have Social Security numbers and work permits. They may be an asset to help with the economy in the sense that they can work in the labor market.
On a national level, economic ties between the U.S. and Venezuela are thin, especially with oil imports from the country.
Nevertheless, anytime oil is involved, it impacts East Texas more directly, and so there's an issue there. And obviously, as a border state, we're tied into that as well.
This is the beginning of the end because this time it was different.
Venezuelans here in the U.S. hoping things will look promising for their country in the near future. In Tyler, Jesus Martinez, CBS 19.
Just hours ago, opposition leaders announced that they had collected over 70% of the paper records of votes, according to the Associated Press. In those records, they say that opposition candidate Edmundo Gonzalez won with more than double the number of votes for Maduro.